back to Daytime Ottawa, back to talk about adventure and event training. And by adventure and event training, we mean those athletic events that you go on and perhaps you're not training properly for them. Perhaps you think you're in great shape and I can do that triathlon, no problem. I'm a pretty good swimmer. Well, our next guest is going to help you with just that. Michelle O'Neill joins us from Michelle Fit. Welcome. It's great to have you here.
Hello.
Do you find, is that common with some of your clients, is that they, they might work out and they're in good shape and then they sign up for a triathlon and realize, oh no, what have I done?
Yes, or they sign up and then they just kind of slack off with their training, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So yeah, and then on the day of, they're just like, oh wow.
And it hits
what have I gotten myself into?
Bricks,
yes.
Because you're not prepared. So when it comes to training, how often should people be training for the big event?
So I like to recommend around 5 days, 6 days a week. It depends on the event and the time that you have as well. You don't want to overtrain and then risk injuring yourself, of course, as well. So, it really depends on the event, but trying to, and different, off season's going to be a little bit different than during the actual race season as well. But for instance, if you're doing like a run event, excuse me, at least if you're in the season, you definitely want to be running a little bit more than you're doing your strength training.
Okay. Well, let's talk about specific events. Let's say you are doing something like a duathlon. How should you train for that specific event? What should you take into consideration?
So definitely want to do some strength training, strengthening the muscles that you're going to be using for that event, which is pretty much the whole body. A lot of people think with cycling that, legs.
Right.
But you actually need to strengthen the upper body too, because if you're getting tired, you're going to start to hunch over and slouch on your bike, closing your airway. So you really want to have that core strength as well to keep your upper body lifted. And of course for running, it's the same sort of principle as well. You need to keep your body upright too.
What about equipment? Is it important that you have the right bike, you have the right shoes when it comes to running, cycling?
Yes, you definitely don't want to cheap out and get those
don't
$40
get the CCM $40 speed bike.
Those loafer shoes or whatever. Yeah, you do want to invest in some good footwear for sure. And of course, well, I mean, again, depends on the event. A good bike, something like a camel pack, if you want to get.
Right. Let's take a look at this, because this is part of the gear as well. Why is something like this important?
Now, for longer events, this is great. This one's more for biking, hiking, day trips. You can get smaller ones for running, but this can hold your water and or your electrolyte drink. For longer races, I can throw some food in there that I can snack on during the event that I'm doing. Now, that's usually I use this when it's over a 15K.
Okay.
If I'm doing a 5-10K, it's just me, myself, and I usually, and my
your handy watch.
Pace.
And you're grabbing those some cups of water that they give you on the side
exactly.
of the track.
Yeah, exactly. So I love my little camel pack here for hiking and so forth. And again, the water's in the back here. You can just see this holds all that water. And then the tube you just feed through here. What side is it on here? This side, I think. There's a little hole where the tube can come through, and then you just suck on it when you run.
Really?
You don't have to move your pack around. Yeah.
What a great idea.
Yeah, it's great. It's great.
So convenient. I put other things in there aside from water, but that's besides the point.
Don't listen to Lois. If you're working out, make sure you stay.
There, right?
Hydration important. You mentioned nutrition. What about when should you eat? Before, during, after? Does it depend on the type of event that you're doing?
Definitely. It does, and everyone's a little bit different. I myself, I usually have a good sized breakfast, heavier on the carb side, and I might have something like a banana maybe an hour before. Just because that sits well. Potassium helps with your electrolytes as well. And then during the race, I like something like raisins. It doesn't bounce around in my stomach. Little carb boost,
Right.
And again, that's for really long distances. If I'm doing a 10K, I'm not going to be eating while I run. Right. But just over the weekend, I did the 25K Spartan race, and so. On the parts where it was a bit steeper of a mountain where I couldn't run, I was walking, and then I would grab a mouthful of my raisins and suck down my electrolyte drink that I had on me just to kind of give me a little kick. And then, of course, after the race, slightly more protein to help repair the muscles.
Okay.
And there are people out there who are doing event after event after event. So I've heard of people doing 2 marathons in a weekend. How much time should you give yourself in terms of recuperation time?
Again, it does depend on the event. This last event that I just did, I gave myself 2 full days off.
Okay.
Just because I could barely get up and down my stairs.
That's a sign that you should take some time off. Yeah.
I did try. I was like, we're gonna try yoga, but then I just didn't even have the energy to do yoga. So the race was on the Sunday, and then just this Wednesday was my first day back in. I've been taking it easy, very light this week, just easing my way back into it. So
Michelle, what about something like an obstacle course? You're bending, you're moving, you're going under, diving over things. The training when it comes to that, is there a lot of maybe yoga, stretching? Is that kind of thing more important?
Definitely. Yoga is, stretching or yoga. Not everyone likes yoga, but stretching is definitely important for any event that you do,
right.
Whether you're training for an event or not. It's just great to stretch everything out. It helps you. If you're constantly tight, your muscles, you're going to reflect that. You're going to start to hunch over. You're going to feel tight. You're going to start injuring yourself. So I really take care of myself doing things like yoga, acupuncture, massage, chiropractic if I need it.
Right.
I really take care of myself before an event, and then of course treat myself to a massage afterwards.
I love
because you deserve it.
Exactly. Michelle, always a pleasure having you on the show.
yes.
Great advice, and remember, if you are training for a big adventure or an event, any athletic event, make sure you treat yourself well and make sure you stay hydrated, and good nutrition, always important. Speaking of good nutrition, Jenny, our junior chef, joining us in the kitchen right after this. She's going to give us something, can be nutritious. It depends on what you stuff the crepe with.
Definitely delicious.
Always delicious. We'll be back with Jenny right after this. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you.